Hey everyone, it's Sarah, and today I am back with 8 fragrances from my collection that I feel like are slept on fragrances. I think they're completely underrated. I don't hear people talk about them very often, and yeah, so I thought I would just bring some attention to them. I'm gonna start with a vintage fragrance. This is still available. You can still buy it in a modern formulation. My bottle just happens to be a vintage bottle. This is Revlon Fire and Ice. Mine is like so old that the cap twists off and it's actually a dabber bottle. Mine still smells fantastic. Mine doesn't have any like markings on it or anything, so I'm not totally sure what year mine is from, but it's definitely from the 90s. The quality on this fragrance is so good. It's so old. I picked mine up off of eBay. I took a chance because it's just always a gamble when you're buying vintage fragrances on eBay as to whether you're gonna get a bottle that was stored properly, that still smells good, that hasn't gone off. I try to look for listings where people have specifically said that it's been stored properly or that it was in a collector's collection, stuff like that, just because I feel like you've got better odds that way. But anyways, sorry, I'm getting off on a tangent. This is like a fruity floral. This one's so hard to explain. It's like a perfumey kind of sweet, slightly musky, but not like, I don't even know how to explain it, but this fragrance is stunning. My friend Tatiana, she picked up a bottle of the modern formulation. I really need to, I keep forgetting I just did a fragrance net order and I should have just added a bottle to that, but I keep forgetting to put a bottle in my cart because it's very inexpensive. But anyways, I feel like this is very slept on. This still smells amazing. It doesn't smell dated. I wouldn't even say it smells vintage to me. It does kind of have like maybe a slightly vintage type smell, but I don't know, I just don't get super vintage from it. I still wear this and I still love it. And yeah, it's very inexpensive and you can still pick it up on Fragrance Net for very inexpensive, a modern formulation. And I think Tatiana said the modern formulation is still really nice. So anyways, that is Revlon Fire and Ice. Okay, this next one, I just wore this not long ago and I talked about how much I love this fragrance and I forget about it. This is a fragrance from Lake and Sky and this one is Midnight 07. I know we all love and talk about 1111, but I feel like this one just does not get any love. This is so stunning. This is sweet. This is like sweet and dark. It's like a sweet, dark fruit chewy. If you like fragrances like the original Jimmy Choo fragrance, if you really like those like fruit chewy type scents, I think you would really like this one. The combination of the fig and patchouli in this is just outstanding. It's got some rose in the middle as well, but to me, this smells like plum. I don't know why, it smells very plummy. The combination of like the fig and the rose and the patchouli and the sweetness of it, it really ends up smelling kind of like a plummy patchouli. It's beautiful. It definitely is like fall in a bottle. This could take you all the way through into winter. I just feel like this is such a slept on fragrance and it is stunning. If you like fragrances like the original Jimmy Choo, I think you would just really love this one. So that is Lake and Sky Midnight 07. Okay, next, this one, I talk about this every once in a while, like when I remember to pull it out. This is a fragrance that this was sent to me by the brand years ago, like 5 or 6 years ago now. Probably longer than that, probably more like 6 years ago. This fragrance is absolutely stunning. Sorry, this is a fragrance from a brand called Alchemy Perfumes, and this is called Alchemy 33. They only have 3 fragrances on their website. They have one that is for females, one that is for unisex, and one that is for men. This is the one that is for women and it is stunning. This is not a like complex fragrance at all. This is, if I remember correctly, like bergamot in the top, rose or some floral in the middle, and then patchouli, and I think it's got some sandalwood in it as well. It's beautiful. This is another one. This is kind of like a musky floral. This reminds me a little bit of Chanel Coco Mademoiselle, but like a way less screechy version. It's not as sweet as Coco Mademoiselle, and it's just not as like overpowering as Coco Mademoiselle. This is kind of like a more classy, classic version of Coco Mademoiselle. It is stunning. I never hear anybody talk about this fragrance. It's really, really beautiful. It's very long lasting. The quality is incredible. I've had this, again, they sent this to me probably 6 years ago now, and it still is perfect. The smell hasn't changed at all. This is one of those fragrances that no matter what my skin chemistry does, it always, always smells good on me. And it's just a beauty. It's a hidden gem, very slept on fragrance. It is on the pricier side. I think a bottle is like $78, but it's beautiful. And it's a fragrance that you could have in your collection for years and years. This isn't gonna go bad on you. And it's just stunning. It's an easy reach fragrance and just such a classic scent profile. I love it. So anyways, that is Alchemy 33 from Alchemy Perfumes. Okay, next is a Philosophy fragrance. This is my favorite Philosophy fragrance that I've ever smelled. I do think it's pretty slept on. I think that the Amazing Grace line gets way more hype and love than Falling in Love does. This is a bottle of the original formulation. I do have a small little 1/2 ounce bottle of the new formulation. And I love both of them. The original formulation just performs better. They both still smell amazing though. And I love this scent. This is basically like berries. I think it's blackberry. I think it's got some black currant in it, and then like musk in the base, and it is stunning. Again, super easy to reach for. This is another one this is an old bottle because this is the original formulation. This is probably, oh my gosh, I've probably had this bottle for 15 years at least. And it is still perfect. It hasn't changed. This was another kind of signature scent for me for a little while, for maybe like a 6-month period when I was taking a break from Stella. And I've been in love with this scent ever since. Fun fact about this, I went to a long time ago, I used to love this band called Lifehouse. I don't know if anybody even knows who that is, but I went and saw them in Atlanta, and I ended up like standing in line to meet them. And one of the members of that band told me that I smelled good. Or like when I met them, I think it was the drummer maybe, told me that I smelled good, and this is what I was wearing. So it's a beautiful scent. I love this, and I will never forget that. And it'll always be special. So anyways, that is Philosophy Falling in Love. Okay, this next one is a Burberry scent. And I think a lot of Burberry scents get a lot of hype because I just think Burberry, for designer fragrances, I think Burberry is just top notch. I think that they make incredible fragrances. Most of them are pretty easy to wear. They're such good quality. I feel like this is one of the designer houses that just has not really compromised on quality too much. Well, maybe with some of their reformulations, but a lot of their like original formulated perfumes are so good. And this one is one of them. This is Burberry Brit Sheer, and I forgot how good this was until I pulled it out this summer. I was like really on a floral kick, and I kind of still am, but I was really, really on a floral kick this past summer because it was just we had such an intensely hot summer that florals were all I could tolerate. This one was so amazing, and I forgot like how good it is. This is like a light, sweet, kind of green leaning floral. It's so beautiful. It's got that Burberry like scent profile to it. So if you like Burberry Brit, if you like Burberry Brit Rhythm, like any of the fragrances in the Burberry Brit line, I think you would like this. This one is really, really stunning though. This to me, I feel like I like this one even more than just the original Burberry Brit. It's so like bright, crisp, clean, fresh, just the right amount of sweetness. It lasted forever. It did amazingly well in the heat, and I just feel like for a Burberry fragrance, this one is very, very slept on. I just don't hear people talking about this one very often. I have been hearing people talk a little bit more about Burberry Brit Rhythm, which used to be a very slept on fragrance as well. But I feel like I never hear anybody talk about this, and it is so stunning. This is a much easier reach than a lot of other Burberry fragrances are, because I feel like as much as I love the house, I feel like it's a house that people are either gonna really love or really not like. So yeah, I think it is kind of a polarizing house. But anyways, that is Burberry Brit Sheer, and I love the like very light baby pink bottle. I think it's stunning. Okay, next I've got a couple of Lanvin fragrances, and I think I couldn't choose just one. I think Lanvin in general is a house that is very slept on, especially these two that I'm gonna talk about. Jean Lanvin might be one of the most slept on fragrances in my collection. I've talked about it a lot. I have not heard many other people talk about it. I've not heard a ton of people say that they've picked this up after I've talked about it. The only other person that I know that loves this fragrance as much as I do is my friend Jacqueline. She has been through bottles of it at this point. This is another one that's got some berries in the top. It's light and sweet and sparkly smelling, kind of like sparkling berries. It's got a little bit of clean musk in the base. It's beautiful. It wears on the skin beautifully. Super, super safe. Very easy to reach for fragrance. Some might find this fragrance boring. I don't, but I love berry in fragrance. So anytime I can smell berry or blackcurrant, or I don't think this has blackcurrant in it. It might, but it definitely has berries in it. I will just automatically, pretty much most of the time, I will just love it. I do think that it is very slept on. It's super, super affordable. It's one of those fragrances that's just a staple. It's just a staple in any perfume collection. It's one of those like workhorse fragrances that you can just grab it and spray on for literally any occasion. This would be great for like a job interview. This would make a great work fragrance. This would be a great like going out with the girls fragrance. It would be a great brunch fragrance. Like you could literally wear this for any occasion. My friend Jacqueline wears it to bed a lot because it's like a very comforting smelling fragrance. It's just stunning, and I do think that it is very, very slept on. So that is Lanvin, Jean Lanvin. And then the other one, this one, I do think this is very slept on. This is Lanvin Modern Princess. This one though, this one is a tiny, tiny bit more juvenile smelling, because this is like a fruity fragrance. This is like a creamy apple fragrance. It does smell very, very similar to Victoria's Secret Oh So Sexy, and like more than very similar. It smells almost identical to Oh So Sexy. So it is kind of, you know, if you consider Victoria's Secret fragrances like unsophisticated, then you might consider this unsophisticated because it smells like a Victoria's Secret fragrance. But I love this. This is another one that is just easy to reach for, easy to wear. You can wear it any time of year, basically any occasion. This would be for people that lean more towards like fruity fragrances rather than like berries or florals. But again, super affordable, super fun, sweet, yummy, creamy apple. It's so good. Perfect for this time of year too. It's just a great fragrance. This would make a great first fragrance for like a teenage girl. It's just a good fragrance. I just love it, and I never hear anybody talk about it. I think it's very, very slept on, super underrated, and it's just a little gem, and I love the bottle. The bottle is beautiful. So anyways, that is Lanvin Modern Princess. And then last but not least, this is a fragrance that I had a carded sample of this for probably like a year before I ever even tested it, because I just didn't think I was gonna like it. This is the Bond 007 fragrance. I love this bottle. I think the bottle is stunning. If you look at it in the light, it's not black. It's more of like a really, really dark, like olivey green color, but out of the light, it does look black. But anyways, this is another kind of berry fragrance, like sweet berry, like sweet musky berries. It's so beautiful. I do think this one's got some florals in the middle. I don't remember what kind of florals, maybe possibly rose, if I remember correctly. But this is beautiful. This is a little bit more grown-up smelling than like Falling in Love, but still super easy to wear. It's like a sweet musky berry scent. It's gorgeous. It's another one that I just think is super underrated. I think a subscriber had actually recommended this in the comments at one point, which then prompted me to pick up a sample from Fragrance Net. And then once I tested it, I was like, oh my gosh, I need a full bottle. It's so good. This is one that gets lost in my collection. I forget about it. But I do think this is a very, very slept on fragrance. I never hear anybody talk about this. It's really, really beautiful. It smells more expensive than it is. It's a super affordable fragrance. I hope that this is still available. I don't know. I should probably check before I pull these out and start talking about them. But if it's not, you can probably still find it on the gray market or on reselling websites. But it's beautiful, really, really beautiful. If you like sweet musky berries, I think you would really like this one, and I do think it's just a super underrated gem. So anyways, that is the Bond 007 fragrance. And that is gonna be it, you guys. Those are 8 fragrances from my collection that I think are completely slept on. I don't ever hear anybody talk about them, and they're really, really nice perfumes, especially for the price. A lot of them are very, very affordable. But anyways, you guys, I do hope that you all enjoyed this. If you did, don't forget to give it a big thumbs up. Don't forget to subscribe before you leave, and I will see you in my next one. Bye.